was good, everybody? Welcome back to my videos if you've been watching them. If not, hello, how you doing? I hope y'all are having a good day, night, whatever it is. Um, this is another story. It's not really like a, whole planned out story of how this happened or not, but it's just pretty much an overview of how my first job was. Um, it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it wasn't the best. It was definitely the worst job I've ever had. You know what I mean? But if I could go back, honestly, I would go back just for maybe some part-time work, you know what I mean? But I would not be doing the position that I was doing, and I'll tell y'all why in a minute. But yeah, I mean, if you like any of my stories, like and subscribe, and I have a couple of other videos on my channel. And I would really appreciate it if anybody, commented, liked, or subscribed to my channel. You know what I mean? I appreciate anything. I appreciate the views that I get. I only get 10 views at most, but honestly, that really feels good to me. It makes me feel like I want to keep going. You know what I mean? Because this is pretty much all I have right now until, this whole COVID thing calms down, and then I can go back to going to work, you know what I mean, and maybe making more story times because I'll have more experiences under my belt. But this is about my first job, and my first job was at an Italian restaurant. It was downtown, and I'm not gonna say the name of the place because some of the stories in here will be pretty it would make them look pretty bad. I'm just gonna say that, it doesn't make them look like the best company or the best restaurant. But, I'm going to try and make this a little shorter than my other videos. I'm not saying that it is going to be shorter than my other videos, but I'm I'm going to try. But, yeah, I mean, I was I think 18 at the time when I got this job. And it was working at this Italian restaurant. I remember going there and I was telling them, I knew somebody that had worked there before. And they referred me to that job or whatever. They gave me a good word and this and that. So, I appreciated that. And that helped me get the job. And my position was dishwasher, right? So, I guess usually people start as dishwasher and then they would move on to cooks and all that different stuff. You know what I mean? But I started as the dishwasher. And I was pretty good at it, like in a really busy day, like a Friday night or a Saturday night, I could get pretty much all those dishes done really quick. I could get everything done, and they were coming in constantly. They had a girl that would always collect the dishes and stuff like that in this big bin, and then she would come drop them off to me, and I would have to get those done really quick because we had more customers coming in. You know what I mean? So I had to do that as fast as I could, and I was getting it done. I was like Superman on that. I was like the Flash, hitting them with that, just going at it, you know what I mean? I wasn't stopping. I was pretty athletic, so I didn't get tired quick. I was just really good at it. So that wasn't really the problem. The problem is that for one, the place was god dang haunted. On no cap, no nothing like that. I would be in there. So the way that this place was set up was there was the main area where people would eat, and it looked like a little house, and then there was like a boardwalk type of thing, and then next to it there was another little area, like a little house too, so one 2-story looking house, and then next to it was like a 1-story looking house, but that was mainly the bar, and then next to the bar was a room that was reserved for people that had a party, or you know what I mean, like they reserved that area. So that area was usually empty unless it was, like I said, a Friday night or Saturday night where it was very busy, but usually it was empty and it was pitch black in there. So I went into that reserved area most of the time, so I can drop towards the end of the night, so I could drop off these tea bins. And the tea bins were kind of annoying to wash too, because you have to spray bleach in them, make sure all the nozzles are clean. You know what I mean? We weren't trying to be no dirty restaurant or anything like that. At least I didn't think they were trying to be that. I'll get to that in a minute, but we had to do that, and then I would take them over there, and that's where they belonged, inside this little room in the back. So every time I would wash them up, I would take them back and take them to that back room. And in that back room, I would be putting them in there, right? Like organizing stuff, whatever. And I would hear footsteps like walking towards where I'm at. And I thought, okay, well maybe it's, I mean, in my head at first I'm thinking it's a manager, it's a worker, it's this, that. It could be a goddamn rat, and I'd rather it be that. But, and that rhymed, I don't I don't know. But anyway, I walked out of the little, because there was a little curtain covering the door of the room that I was in, the little room in the back. So I opened the curtain and I would look out, and there would be nobody there. Like, there would be nothing there. Not even a rat. No roaches, nothing. Just nothing. Just pitch black, just a pitch black room. And I'm telling you, like, I knew at that moment when I saw that something was up. Like, this wasn't right. You know what I mean? Like, this is really suspect. You feel me? Like, this is just horrible. So I knew this place, it has to be haunted. Without asking anybody anything, I already convinced myself this place is haunted. Something's going on. You know what I mean? So, eventually I do ask people around. You know, I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, is this place haunted? Have y'all heard anything? Like, have y'all heard noises? This and that. And some people are like, yeah, like I've heard that, and I've heard this, and I've heard that. Right? So I'm like, okay. I'm not stupid, I'm not crazy, I'm not this and that. I know for 100% this is haunted, right? So that's one thing that sucked, is that I always had to go into the back room by myself. I always had to. There was no way around it. There was no anything. I had to wash those things, and I had to put them in the back because I was the main dishwasher at that point. There was one other guy, or two other guys that would help me, but they wouldn't come every day. They were like, I guess they were part-time or something. They used to be the main dishwashers, but now they're part-time. And I'm the main dishwasher. So what that really means is I'm not the main dishwasher. I'm the main person getting fucked. Right? Okay. So as me getting the main person getting fucked all the time, I had to go and hear those footsteps and all that different stuff all the time. That was horrible. That made me want to quit because I just hate ghosts. I hate like hearing stuff that's not there. I hate all that stuff because I've just had so much experiences with that. And those stories are coming later where I've had, you know, insane encounters with ghosts. You know what I mean? Like, it's just insane. But those are coming later. I will be uploading those in the next coming weeks. But anyway, so that was one really bad, you know, point of working there. And another thing that happened is that there was a cook. And if you've ever been to Chuck E. Cheese, and you've seen Pasquale, if you've ever seen Pasquale is the guy at Chuck E. Cheese, the little the animatronic guy that makes the pizzas, right? Well, little did I know Pasquale was a real guy, and he worked at the restaurant that I was working at. And he was literally the pizza maker. He was the pizza maker at my restaurant, but he was a goddamn asshole. He was a straight asshole. Like, the one thing that really made me think that he was an asshole is it was closing time. He had finished his part of cleaning up his area and all this stuff because all he does is make the pizzas. So really all he had to do was stack his little pans and, you know, not really too much. And he was done. But for some reason, Pasquale decided to stay around, and just hang out, I guess. I don't know why, but he decided to just stay around and hang out. And for me, closing was the worst part because I had so much to do. I had to wash the dishes. I had to dry the dishes. I had to put them away. I had to make sure everything was good. Nothing was messy. I had to make sure everything was in the right spot. All the little cooking spoons, all the, you know, different utensils that you use to cook, right? So I had to make sure everything was in line. And Pasquale decided to just stand by the doorway. And where the doorway was, where I would walk back and forth was right next to where the dishes were, and the sprayer, like the sprayer to spray off the dishes and stuff. So I'm spraying the dishes, and I guess, like, I have a plate in my hand, right? So I guess I hit the dish with the sprayer in a wrong angle, and it splashes onto him, and he tells me, hey, don't be splashing me, you know? Like, don't be splashing me with that water. And so, like, that makes me mad because it's like, I'm just doing my job, and then you get wet with a little bit of water and you want to cry about it. So I told him, I told the Pasquale, well then don't stand there if you don't want to get wet. This is where the dishes are getting washed. Calm down, you know what I mean? And then he tells me that I need to watch my back. And I'm thinking in my head like, bro, you're literally Pasquale from Chuck E. Cheese. I don't need to watch my back. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm the biggest, toughest guy in the world or anything, but I could definitely smack the hell out of Pasquale and just, it would be no problem. But he wants to act like he's Mr. Tough Guy, right? And I tell him that he needs to be the one to watch his back, because I will not go to Chuck E. Cheese anymore, and Pasquale and Chuck E. Cheese and the gang will go out of business. You feel me? So he gets all butthurt about that. That was another one thing also that I had to deal with, because after that, me and him were just always, butting heads. We didn't like each other, so that was another reason why I didn't like working there. And then to top it off, when we're closing a little bit into the job, like I'd say maybe 3 weeks into working there, I see the biggest, fattest, chunkiest rats. Like, these rats literally look like Master Splinter from Ninja Turtles, like running around getting pizza for the Ninja Turtles down in the sewers. You feel me? Like, they are the biggest, nastiest looking rats. And you wouldn't even see them straight up. Like, you wouldn't turn and see a big fat rat sitting there. You know what I mean? Like, you would be doing something, and then on the corner of your eye, you would see something run from underneath one thing to another, right? And it's just, it was the most ugly, disgusting feeling I've ever felt, because I had already eaten the food from there. And if these rats are as fat as they were, there was no way in hell that they weren't eating some of the food that I was eating. You feel me? Like, inside those drawers and inside those cabinets and all that stuff that they've been pulling the food out of. There's no way those rats haven't been getting in there, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so that was another thing. And then to top it off, this was probably the one thing that really just made me not want to be there anymore, and probably led me to quitting, was I was washing dishes, right? And then I felt like a tap on my shoulder, or not on my shoulder, but on my elbow, like somebody saying, like, tapping me 3 times, like, hey, like, on my elbow. And I thought, somebody's asking me a question, you feel me? Like, somebody's asking me something. So let me turn around and see what's up. I turn around and nobody is there. Nobody is there. And you want to know why nobody was there? Because it wasn't a goddamn person. I looked down, and when I looked down, there's a big fat 300-pound flying cockroach walking across my body like I'm the globe. And then when he gets to the front of me, he's on my stomach, like on my tummy, you feel me? Like, he's on my stomach. After I just seen him crawl around my whole body. So I wipe him off. I'm like, oh my God, oh, and I start wiping at him, and he flies off of me, flies underneath the counters, and just runs under there. And that was it. I was like, I cannot be working with these roaches, bro. I cannot be working with these roaches. I cannot be working with these rats. And I cannot be working with these ghosts. You got all the worst things that I could ever want to deal with in life. All in one place. All in one place. Like, you have everything that I despise. All in one place. And not only that, you got Pasquale over there giving me dirty looks like he's a cockroach too. So I didn't know what to do. But eventually, I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm good. This is my first job. I got plenty more to go. Screw this. I'm done. You feel me? So, I quit. I told my manager, I said, hey, y'all got rats, roaches, ghosts, and Pasquale. I don't want none of it. You feel me? Like, I don't want any part of what y'all got going on here. I don't know what kind of circus this is. I don't know what kind of jokes y'all are playing on me or whatever. The only reason why I regret quitting that job, though, is because there was a girl there that I was just getting to know, and she was really bad. You know what I mean? She was really cute. And I was so close to getting her number and just dating her, like, straight up, because she liked me and I liked her and all that. You know what I mean? This, that, whatever. But it wasn't worth it. Pasquale, roaches, and rats. And ghosts. No, all of that does not equal a healthy relationship for me and that girl. So, you know what I mean? So She's still working there, I think. You know what I mean? She can deal with all that as much as she wants, but for me, I was done with it. I was not trying to have any of it. That was the worst job that I've ever had, and that I've ever had to this day. Um, I mean, it was my first job, but I mean, talk about first impressions. You know what I mean? Like, for first impressions, you never think that like your first job is gonna be that bad, but it was that bad for me. I hated it. Most of the people there were pretty annoying. Everybody, I didn't have any friends there. I don't know if I said this earlier, but nobody really spoke English in the back. It was really just me that spoke English. Everybody else was just talking gibberish in my eyes. I didn't know what anybody was saying. I didn't know anything. All I knew was that I had to get the hell out of there. You feel me? Yeah, I quit that job. Eventually, I did get another job at a car wash place. Not a car wash place, but a car detailing uh, company, where we would go to actual people's houses and personally wash their cars and clean out the cars and all this different stuff. You know, so we were detailing. You know, so it was. I love that job though. Like, even though I'm not there anymore because my boss there had moved out of town, I still love that job. It was one of the best jobs that I've ever had, and compared to my first one, I hated it. So screw that Italian restaurant, screw everybody there, screw the ghost, screw Pasquale, especially Pasquale. He ruined it for me. Fuck Pasquale. Screw the ghosts, screw the rats, and screw the roaches. So my advice to you, if you hate what you're doing right now, if you hate your job, if you hate anything like that, look for something better before you quit. Make sure you have a backup plan. That's always helped me, is always having something to go to after I'm, done with something. So make sure you have something to go to. Make sure you have a backup plan. And make sure that if you're going to quit or anything like that, make sure it's for good reasons. I feel like I had some good reasons, because not only did we have rats and roaches, but you have to think, we're serving that food to human beings. Like, human beings are coming in this place paying like $17 for a plate that's been next to some fat roaches and rats and Pasquale. You feel me? Like, that was just, it's just not worth it to me. And it felt really ugly when I would see the customers eating all that food, and knowing where it's been and what it's been next to. So, yeah, that was my an overview, I guess, a short overview of my first job. And it was pretty horrible, but if you like that, please like and subscribe. I have a few other videos on my channel. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can. And I appreciate y'all. I appreciate anybody who views this. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, and I hope y'all have a good weekend. I'll see y'all.